In my last video, I tasted Machrie Moor, the peated Arran malt. In this video, I have another whiskey from the same distillery that should be dramatically different. Let's do this. Welcome to Whisky Riffs. I'm Kevin, and today I have a 10-year-old non-chill filtered natural color Arran single malt Scotch whiskey. This distillery is located on the Isle of Arran, which has two different distilleries on it, Lachranza and Lag. And in my previous video, which I'll post a link to down below, I mistakenly said that Machrie Moor, the Arran whiskey that I was reviewing in that video, was produced at Lag, because all the peated whiskeys from Arran are moving to the Lag distillery. Unfortunately, I got that wrong. It eventually will, but the bottle I was reviewing was actually from Lachranza. So same distillery as this, but a much different flavor, a much different experience, because this is not peated and it is a golden, beautiful color. I love the lightness of it, which probably means that Arran is not a warm place, because if you spend 10 years maturing in a cask and you're still this light, it's pretty much a colder environment. Try to find a 10-year-old bourbon that has any kind of lightness to it at all, and you're probably going to fail, because most bourbons are in warmer climates of the US, Kentucky, Tennessee, those areas where you have kind of that warm summer and cooler winter, but the heat is what gives you all the movement. In my last video where I talked about Machrie Moor and tasted that, I talked a little bit more about the Arran distillery and their history, so go check that out. Again, the link's down below. But today, it's all about this beautiful bottle right here, which is a 46% ABV whiskey with a very strong plastic top. Why can't I get, oh, I'm pulling the wrong spot. There's an actual spot with some openings. God, I can't, sad, just done in by plastic. Okay, there we go. Okay, we did that. That was easy. I should do that more often. As I was saying, this 92 proof whiskey, 46% ABV, single malt Scotch from Arran is what we're looking at today. It is non-chill filtered, natural color, and distilled and matured in Lachranza. So let's pour this bad boy and see what we find out. Now I'm excited to taste this because it's always good to have the difference between a couple different whiskeys or more from the same distillery. I just think it's fascinating, all the variations you can do to whiskey with just subtle changes. It's a nice healthy pour of whiskey, and if you didn't know, whiskey is healthy. I've read several articles that said in moderation, whiskey can be very healthy for you. And I've ignored every single article that said anything about whiskey not being healthy for you. Moderation is the key, of course. You know, don't look at my guitars or my espresso setup or anything else. I can moderate. I have moderated. I moderate. Let's dive into this, see what we got. As with a lot of unpeated scotches, more of these subtle notes tend to come through. This one right away, I'm getting kind of herbs and grass. It's got the sweeter notes. There's a little bit of malt there, kind of the biscuits, the British biscuit, the cookies. Digging down deeper, there's some citrus there, getting like an orange zest. Could even be lemon-like, fruity sweetness. Much different nose than the Machrie Moor. And at 46% ABV, I'm not getting a lot of alcohol burn on the nose. I can dig into it and not feel like my nose is burning. A little bit of spice right away, a little honey note there. Wow, I'm really getting an orange zest now when I nose it after tasting it. Now that the whiskey has kind of flooded my palate. What is that note? It's like a kind of a brown sugar note to me. I'm getting some apple, some green apple notes. It's it's not a cinnamon spice. I think it's just an oak spice that I'm getting. It's a decent finish on it. I can still feel that, and it's leaving me with a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of the oak spice. I think it compares to your mainstream Speyside or Highland Scotches, even though it's not from that area. And the nose is pretty. It's very pretty. There's a lot of little notes to pick out of it. It's not simple. It's not underpowered. I think 46% is a great level for this whiskey to be at. And I haven't had too many Arran whiskeys. I may have tasted a few in tasting kits, but I really haven't invested in the bottles. And I've heard a lot of people brag about Arran, and I can see why. It's a very nice whiskey. It's got plenty of things to discover in it. They took their time and did it right. They did the things that make whiskey interesting. I want to test it against Machrie Moor. I know they're very different whiskeys, but I think it's worthwhile. Glass. Need a glass? Glass. All right. I'm pretty sure that this is going to be a dramatic difference, and even the color. Wow. So when you look at the colors of these two, they're very similar, but you can even see a little more lightness in the Machrie Moor. Maybe it's not aged as long, because there's no age statement on the Machrie Moor. So yeah, this could be a younger peated whiskey. Yeah, very different nose. Much sweeter on the nose with the 10-year, where the Machrie Moor's got the peated nose to it, which I didn't notice too much in the last video because I think it's a very low peat level. It's a 20 ppm, which I tend to ignore that ppm number. You look at something like Octomore and it's 160 ppm, and this is 20 ppm. It doesn't matter. The flavors are based on a lot of other things rather than the parts per million of peat or whatever however they figure it out. I don't know. It's very weird. It's a number. Trust your taste, trust your nose. Yeah, I get some darker fruits with this compared to the lighter green apple, citrus of this. I get more of the like plum and darker notes. Yeah, really pleasant. I do like this a lot. I would say if you are a fan of Highland Scotch, if you're a fan of kind of the lighter flavors, citrus, green apple, kind of those biscuity notes, I think this is a great try for you. Go ahead and pick up a bottle of Arran 10, check it out. Pricing on this, it's not terribly expensive. I believe it's around $60 to $65, depending on where you're getting it from. I can get this right now on Flavier. I tried to get it locally. I think it was $3 or $4 cheaper locally, but then I'd pay shipping, so it doesn't matter. But I don't think it was available. So check near you, see if you can actually get this bottle at the price point that you're getting, a 10-year-old whiskey that's non-chill filtered, natural color, and 46% ABV. It's a good buy. Well, I hope this video has been useful to you. If it has, give me a like, hit subscribe, and you know, take care of the people around you. Take care of yourself. And until we meet in the next video, cheers.